Okay, so this is my first video diary of the allotment. So what I'm doing today is, as you can see, there's all bits of wood and the little brown bits that fall off the tree. I chuck them under the carpet over winter. Now I didn't have enough carpet to go around, so I removed this carpet 2 weeks ago, maybe a little bit longer, about a month ago, and put it on that bed over there. Now I'm going to replace them. I'm going to take them off that bed there, dig it over so all this gets dug back in, and then replace the carpets again. And in this bed here, what am I going to put in here? Sweet corn, I think. So that's in 2 months time. So these carpets will stay on for 2 months. Now I've removed these carpets from this bed, and I'll dig this over in a minute, and I'll just show you how easy it is. Sorry about the camera shake. In the fork goes, all that. That's what you get when you cover it with carpets. Worms everywhere. I'll put my fork in. That's just crumbly mud. Just falls apart in your hands. I mean, yeah, you got to dig it, but it's not clay. This used to be clay, but I've added lime from the builders merchants and just woody material. So this one I put a load of wood and lime on last year. And what did I plant in here last year? I put potatoes in after that. So then I put chicken poo, dug it out in trenches, and whatever was left over I used it as mulch in the trenches, which kept it warm. And I'll show you that technique in a minute, because I'm going to put potatoes over in this bed over here this year. See, all my beds are covered over, and this one under here, look at all that lot there. See, half of it's not even rotted, some of it is, some of it isn't. This stuff takes a couple of seasons to rot down, but you can use it as mulch. See, all that stuff just gets used as a mulch layer. And the chicken poo is the nutrition, that is the mulch, keeping it warm in these chilly conditions, because it's still just mid-March. Your spuds then germinate underneath the little mulch layer. Now obviously when they pop through, you've got to watch out for frost. So if it does frost, you just want to cover them over with soil, basically. Just any green bits you see on your spuds when they pop through, just cover it with soil. And then that stops them getting frost damage, because if you get frost damage on the green bits, it's a nightmare. But if you cover them with soil, then they just pop up through again. It don't really matter. So I've got a bit of work to do today, and like I say, I put cardboard down because the cardboard acts as a woody material. You see all the bugs in here. Wood louse, worms will be in there if I dig down here. There'll be worms everywhere under here. Well, there aren't, but there will be in that soil. See, this hasn't rotted down very well at all. But like I say, it'll act as mulch, and by the end of this summer it will be rotted down. But anyway, fair bit of work to do. I'm just showing you my techniques of covering the land as opposed to just leaving it bare, because it seems to go barren more quickly when it's left bare. Now I've dug it over, I just need to rake it out. A nice old school one over there, like with the old school rake head like that, that's what you want. So here it is, raked. It's got quite a good depth to it. I suppose they call it tilth, don't they? Let's see. That's just weak. No, look how far it's gone in. Almost a hole. What's that? 9 inches? 8, 9 inches. Size of something else. My span. See? There we go. Interesting. I'm going to show you something else. Raspberries there. Apple tree. I've clipped it down. Each one, so that stunts the upward growth and puts all the energy back in to making fruit. Now this is my little pond area. We're getting close down here and have a look at this. This is going to freak you out. Look at those little beauties. That is tadpoles. There's about 1 million of them. Rad. Yeah. I think I'm a procreator by trade, man. Okay, so next job, plant those broad beans over there. Okay, so the next stage of the operation is to crush it all down a bit. As you can see, it's quite nicely tamped down now, whereas this is still fluffy. So what you do is get your piece of carpet and you walk on it, up and back, up and back. Da -da 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 -da. In classic Blue Peter fashion, here's one I prepared earlier. Oh bollocks, I just stood on my seed onions. Never mind. So you do this technique just to tamp the soil down. So when you put your beans in, I'm going to do broad beans in here. And you do the same for onions as well. But onions more so, you want it even more compacted with onions. So then now you know it's fairly compacted, but still there's loads of air gaps and it's slightly loose. So when it rains, the soil will compact down. I'll put these in here to walk across so I don't get any boots muddy. And this is the technique. Next thing is to get your dibber and count how many beans you got. And I usually do them broad beans about a span apart again, about 9 inches apart both ways. I'll do mass planting in squares like that. So I've got 2 squares, or rectangles even, not squares, they're rectangles, of 2 packets. What are we putting in here? Bunyard's exhibition, man. So October to May, so it's March, harvest July or June to August, so we'll get a harvest in sort of July, August. So next scene is dib holes and bung them in. Alright, so there we go, there's your dibber and there's my beans. So what I'm going to do over here is, to be honest, I'm not really going to count them, I'm just going to do it by luck of the draw. Jam a hole in. I've got this dibber here, so I'm going to go in 3, 4 on the thing, which I believe is about 4 inches. Take a seed. Open the packet, of course, first. Bung a few bean seeds about. Usually I'll save these, but last year I had such a weird year, I didn't save any seed. Drop them in. There he is. So I'll do that all the way along the top of this, and then you just rub the surface over and it fills it in. You don't need to be very covered very much, and the birds don't really eat these. They peck what I do is afterwards I'll cover it in chicken wire so the birds can't peck the holes in the leaves. The sparrows come down and peck the leaves to ribbons, which stunts them quite a bit, to be honest. So you want to protect against the sparrows next. So here we are. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 12, 4 12s, 48 times 2, it's about 100. So 100 broad bean plants there, and that's the job. Now what I'm going to do is get my other rake out, my soft rake, a little plastic one, and just rub the surface over with the rake and just let a few of these crumbs fall in. And I mean, I could do it by hand, it wouldn't take me 5 minutes just to rub the surface over, take out any big stones, chuck them to one side. And what I do with my stones is, so yeah, you know, that's 2 minutes, but I'll show you. Almost, this is a yew tree which I planted from, it was about that big, you know, the size of my thumb length. Planted it 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and in 6 years it's only this big. But one day it'll fruit and I'll get little fruits off it. So it is actually, for an allotment, it's a tree that you can plant. They're like bushes, they make very good hedges, but they take ages to grow. But when they do fruit, they've got these lovely little red fruits. Now you can't eat the seed because the seed contains deadly poison, but if you're very gentle with them and you pass them through a sieve, the juice, you can make a lovely jam out of the juice. Now some people have told me that, oh, it's dangerous, but you know, they've been making yew jam for bloody donkey's years. It goes nice with cheese and pork and things like that as well. This is what I do with all my stones, you see. I plant these little trees and then put nice stone arrangements. It's early in the year at the moment, so everything's a bit winter stricken. So, you know, the next few weeks now I'll be up here and you find all little oddities on allotments, little bits of broken glass. They just look pretty. So yeah, that's a yew tree, and I've just planted broad beans. Next I'm going to put onions over here. You can see where my nasturtiums were last year, and this is a nasturtium seed. Now that there will grow, even though it looks knackered. When I dig this over, there's hundreds of them in there. They'll all grow and this will become a big patch of nasturtiums. Now it's a bit of a problem because I want onions to grow here, but what all I do is I just pull them up as they grow and leave them around the borders then. So I'll leave a border on this, put my onions in the middle, and then as the nasturtiums grow I'll just pluck them out. And so when your onions are finished growing, I just let the nasturtiums run wild then, and eat nasturtium flowers and leaves and put them in burgers, make salads out of them, make even nasturtium pesto. It's very nice.